All right, so we're talking about verb tense shifts, and we've got to understand the concept before we can look at examples. But even before we get there, Bridget, what's the code, the revision mark code for it? Very good. So we're looking for something that says this. Now, as always, Bridget has an example that she'll be able to show us, and she'll learn about what the error is. I want the rest of you to look at your MUGS checklist and look for verb tense shift. Bridget, where is it on the MUGS checklist? Note the MUGS checklist. In usage? Okay, so it's in usage. Go to the back side, look in usage, look for verb tense shift or, yep, very last one, good. Unnecessary tense shift. And see if you have done that, if you have made that error, and if you have, pull that journal entry. I would like examples. Okay, that's why you should have the journal entries out. And Bridget will give us an example. I'd like to see the rest of them. Can you, I know you're asking the question, so you might not be able to answer this, but I think you can. What is a verb tense? Let me give you some examples and see if you can answer this question for me. So give me a verb. Dance. What tense is that in? Okay. How about this? What tense is that in? Very good. So this is past. That means this is present. What else? Which other one are we looking for then? Do you know what the future tense of dance is? Very good. English requires that will. 3 simple little tenses, right? Past, present, future. Unfortunately, English is not that simple. And if there's one issue that I really do not like to teach students at all, it's all the variety of different verb tenses. And I don't intend to teach you that. What I need you to do is recognize exactly what Bridget just recognized, that you have multiple tenses of verbs. And they often refer to time. And there are various little shades of time in there. So tense refers to the time of a verb. Oops. Brandon, can you find a noun-verb pair in that sentence for me, please? I believe I've written 2. That's correct. That's my noun. What's my verb? That's correct. It would be our studying. Nicely done. Katie, can you find the other one for me? Yes? Very good. Can somebody tell me what the verb tense shift has been in the sentence? Tense has shifted. Tense has changed. Tyler. Gone from what to what? Yes. Very good. I've gone from present to future. From are studying to will write. Does that shift make sense? Sentence makes sense, right? I can talk about the present and the future in the same sentence, and it makes sense, not a problem. That is a necessary, or what we might consider an acceptable, tense shift. I can shift tenses. I will earn an A on the test today because I studied last night. Future to past. We succeed in school because we have been taught well in the past. Present to past. You can shift tenses. You're allowed to. You should. You must. And you guys do it. Not a problem. That is correct. But once again, Bridget, what does it say on the MUGS checklist? What's the name of the error on the MUGS checklist? Unnecessary tense shift. So now I'm identifying a place where Bridget or anybody else in here has the same problem, has shifted the tense in some way that she shouldn't have. And often it's because you're using some sort of complicated verb tense, because verb tenses can become complicated. So, Bridget, I'd like to see your example. So if you wouldn't mind typing, tell you what, type the sentence in front of the tense shift sentence and the tense shift sentence. I'd like to see them both, please. Who else has an example of a tense shift? Unnecessary verb tense shift. Which can't be the only one. Well, perhaps she is the only one, unless you're incorrectly noting. All right. Yeah, voice shift is something a little bit different. All right, good. In order to understand grammar in any of these rules, we have to find noun-verb pairs. Who wants to start us off with this sentence? If you all talk over each other, I can't hear. Amanda, can you give me a noun-verb pair in the sentence, please? Taylor Swift is my noun. What's the verb? Nope. Remember, it's that. No, remember, it's the verb that students never want to see. There you go. Ethan, keep going. Find another one. Stood is my verb. What's my noun for stood? Should, or she. That's correct. Bridget, can you find another one in the sentence? I see two more. One of them is strange because it's flipped around. Very good. I and was. And Jesse, do you see the last one, or was that the one you had? That's the one you had? Go for it. I am standing. I, and remember the contraction holds the, or hides the am standing. Let's take a look at our tenses of those verbs. Bridget, what's the tense of your first verb was? Past. Robin, what's the tense of the next verb was? Nope, was is still past. Okay. We still have past. Joey, what about stood? Nope, stood is past also. Stand would be present. Gerard, what's the tense of the last verb, am standing? Yeah, it's present. Bridget, who's doing the first verb? Who's doing the second one? Who's doing the third verb? Who's doing the last one? She, you. She, you. You see how you have said past tense for her, past tense for me. Past tense for her, present tense for me. You've shifted that. Taylor Swift was in the Ford Field building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was standing. She probably stood where I am, or where, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Taylor Swift was in the Ford Field building in Detroit, Michigan, where I am standing. She probably stood where I am. Then you'd have past, present, and it would make sense because you'd be in the present tense and Taylor would be in the past tense, right? Because she was there and you are there. So do you see how that bounces back and forth, present to past? But you've placed yourself in the past tense. You've got to be consistent. So you could do that. Taylor Swift was in the Ford Field building in Detroit, Michigan, and so was I. She probably stood where I was. Past. You can do it either way. You just have to make sure it's consistent. And what you should also do is take a look at the tense of your overall journal entry. Were you writing it pretty much in the past tense, your journal entry, about what you did in the past? Then you should probably keep it past tense. So what I would do is take that out, write was. So if you want to fix that for a revision exercise, that's the most sensible repair. Does that make sense? Sometimes it's a little hard to see that because that's pretty subtle, but you've got to make sure that your verbs are consistent. Okay, enough of that little one. Any questions or anybody else find an example of the verb tense shift? I just glancing around didn't see them marked on your checklist. All right, good.